When it comes to suicide, it is so secretive, and it's something that shouldn't be secretive, because I feel like once you start talking about it, it brings it out of the darkness and into the light. And suicide it doesn't have a particular type of person. It affects everyone. You know, from the outside, you could look like you're just living on cloud nine, but inside, these are things that are going on. Suicide will impact anyone with a human brain. It's unpredictable. So when I first was introduced to FailSafe, it was quite eye-opening. I think what impacted me the most was when I was listening to Sabrina talk about what happened with her brothers and how there was no clue or no sign or nothing. There was just maybe they were having a bad day or something like that. But it immediately made me feel like there are others that were going through the same thing that I was going through when I was younger. There was an incident that happened to me. I remember being in 6th grade. My parents were divorced. I was living with my dad. He didn't recognize that I had extreme anxiety. I had went from one school to another. I had already had problems making friends, and now I'm at another school where I don't know anybody. I was overweight, not confident in myself, and kids are mean. And I was able to open up to my dad about some issues. I remember telling him that, Dad, I just don't want to go to school. I feel like I'm just going to get beat up every day. I can't sleep. You know, I'm just scared. But it almost was like my dad kind of got tired of hearing of it. He didn't really understand. I don't blame him for anything. They didn't know back then what they do today. And I never told my dad this, but I remember sitting in the kitchen with a knife in my hand, and I was gonna try to cut my wrists. And I tried. I remember the anxiety was just overwhelming. It wouldn't go away. So I don't know why even suicide came up. It was the thought of just not having to think about that anymore, and just maybe like going to sleep and just kind of, you know, relaxing and being able to have that stress taken away. And at that point, I was committed to it. I now know that that was a major anxiety attack, but I had no idea what it was. And that whole part of my life was buried. I knew it was there, and it was a secret that I had kept, and I said, you know, it'll just be stayed buried. But the FailSafe fundraiser, it brought it back to like it happened just yesterday. I remember everything very, very clearly. And this was a very long time ago. And so what made me really want to get involved with this was because I feel like everyone has known someone that has either thought about it or been involved in it. And a lot of times they're not going to be the ones that bring it up. It's simply not going to happen. I wasn't going to bring it up. If somebody were to ask me, I might have opened up, but no one ever did. And I put on a pretty good show. I never really expressed it. I just held it in. This is the first time I have ever shared that with anyone. That just goes to show how important I think it is to have something like FailSafe in our community, because I think that we need to make sure that this is something that people are more comfortable to talk about and no longer becomes something that is taboo or something that is, it's almost like bringing it into the light and talking about it takes a weight off of the person's shoulders that is going through that. What's really amazing about FailSafe is that it prepares you to be able to talk to anyone about suicide. Before FailSafe, we always reacted to it. With FailSafe, we're taking it a step further and we're trying to prevent what could happen.